You're listening to BQN. Assimilate the audio.
Engage.
78 years have passed since the days of the original USS Enterprise. Now a new Galaxy starship has been designed.
Transporter Chief, beam our listeners aboard. Thought our listeners had got stuck in the transporter beam with a big pile of human goo. Welcome to Galaxy Class, a Star Trek Next Generation podcast on BQN. I am your host, Barefoot Contessa, Joe Keegan, and joined with me today are Diplomatic Standard Bearer, Kevin Scarf, and Councillor Amy Nelson. Amy, how are you today?
Well, hello. I'm doing quite well. Just a little bit. I'm wearing a lovely new shirt. I went to the Pride Parade last night here in Las Vegas. And to my wonderful surprise, there was Star Trek in the parade. I got to say hi, and I met Matthew, who they have this club for Star Trek that I didn't even know here in Las Vegas. So I have some work to do here in my city.
Cool. I've never been to a Pride Parade before anywhere ever.
Really?
Yeah, just not something I've ever done.
Well, it was my first.
Kevin.
Hello. Happy Thanksgiving.
Canadian Thanksgiving, I understand.
As we record this, it is the Saturday of Thanksgiving weekend, and I am getting ready to eat a lot of turkey this weekend.
What do Canadians have to give thanks for?
The fact that that we had a summer, because winter is long. So we give thanks that we had a lovely summertime, because it's starting to get cold.
I love that.
So is that what it's always about? Or
It's a harvest festival, really.
Harvest.
Yeah.
Nice. I like it. Cool. Yeah, so Ewan and I went to visit James and Kelvin in Manchester for a kind of a Star Trek protest weekend because they'd cancelled Destination Star Trek London in favour of the one somewhere in the middle of nowhere, Germany, in Dortmund. And we went down there, and there was a bunch of Star Trekky fans that we all know. And while we were there, I was watching Barefoot Contessa.
Oh.
Ina Garten. Yeah, cookery program, and she was making minestrone soup. And I was thinking, the weather over here is kind of miserable. It's been raining all week. I'm thinking my house might actually run away or float away down the river. So I made minestrone soup this morning. And it looks quite delicious. I'm going to have it for dinner. And that's why my name is Barefoot Contessa.
Excellent.
Just to keep you all in the loop.
I bet the house smells so good.
Yeah. Pancetta, cannellini beans, and tomatoes. Garlic bruschetta. I'm hungry. We just wrap this episode up just now because I need to go and eat some soup.
Well, listeners, that's all you get. 5 minutes of us.
Yeah.
That's all you need sometimes.
A mini-sode. Yeah. Shalt we check the communication array to see if any of our divine listeners have left us any divine comments?
Logs accessed.
That was brief. Thank you, Majel. Amy, do you want to take this feedback? Because it's at you.
Sure. Yeah. So last week, listeners, was a solo for me, and I was talking to you about the writer's guide that I got. And Paul Wright says, "Great show, Amy. I absolutely love nerdy stuff like technical manuals and writer's guides. A note about Data, though, I was surprised the character description didn't really describe his main ship's responsibilities. He served as not only operations manager, but second officer and third in command of the ship. He often commanded the ship during the night watch as seen on Data's day." Good comment, Paul. And yeah, they were pretty short on the descriptions of what Data's responsibilities were on the ship.
Yeah, thanks, Paul. I also am a stickler for the minutiae of Star Trek. I love all the little details and all the little techie sci-fi bits that we get. But do you know what? I'm not wed to them. So if they change things...
Do you have that, Joe? The writer's guide?
I've never seen that writer's director's guide before in my life.
No.
Yeah.
It looks like doesn't look like it's published. It looks more like somebody photocopied it.
That might be. It was found in an antique store that Stephen purchased.
Nice.
And I commandeered it from him when I visited him.
Are you a pirate?
Yeah. With Star Trek stuff, yeah.
Yes. It's mine now. Mine. Cool.
I wonder if it was for internal use only, like if it was something that they only gave to writers and directors so that they knew, maybe it was not meant for the general public.
Oh, that could be.
Did you guys hear that knocking sound?
No.
I think it's CBS. When they got their property back from Amy.
They could be. I did think about that in the copyright.
Yeah, but like the CBS Men in Black come in and wipe your memory.
But here's my rationale. I'm like, okay, first of all, Larry Nemeczek, and I know I should not be comparing myself to him, but he reads all of these things on his Trek Files podcast. So I figured it's public domain.
And it is a 35-year-old show.
Yeah.
So
true. Okay.
Now, if you had the Star Trek
of all sins,
if you had the Star Trek Strange New Worlds writers and directors guide, they may come down a little harder on you.
Yes.
They'd have to find us first, wouldn't they?
This is the captain. Senior officers will report to my ready room immediately.
So I suppose we're here to talk about something specific, and we're going to get to that right now. This episode will conclude our quality check of the 7 seasons of Star Trek The Next Generation. And so today we're going to do our quality check for season 7. Just to kind of give you a very quick recap, there's a lovely summary on Memory Alpha of season 7, which basically tells you about the whole season. And it goes, the crew defeats Lore and his group of rogue Borg. Geordi LaForge struggles with the loss of his mother, while Data discovers his own. The captain foils a terrorist plot by Vulcan isolationists. It is discovered that warp drive damages subspace. William T. Riker is forced to choose between his loyalties to Earl Captain and Picard. Diana Troy and Beverly Crusher learn long-kept family secrets. Worf meets a future version of Alexander Roshenko, and both he and Diana consider a romance. Wesley Crusher leaves Starfleet to study with the Traveller. Ro Laren defects to the Maquis. Q concludes his trial of humanity, giving Picard an opportunity to save mankind. Not much happens by the looks of it in season 7.
That's a pretty good summary for an entire season where a lot happens.
Because what do you get? 26 episodes? Yeah. So let's look at the top 10 worst episodes according to IMDb, and everybody's going to be able to guess what the first one is, because it's maybe ranked in the bottom 2 episodes of TNG of all time, possibly.
Of Star Trek.
Yeah, maybe. And that is Sub Rosa, which is season 7, episode 14, and it's got a score of 4.9.
That is pretty low, 4.9. Because I was trying to remember from like season 1 or season 2, which we also know fans don't rate very high. And I was trying to think, did we have something worse than 4.9? Probably, but...
I would think Shades of Grey might be the only thing that ranks lower than this.
Shades of Grey ranks as 3.3.
Ooh, well called.
Yeah.
Clip show.
Yeah, then Sub Rosa at 4.9 and Code of Honor is 5.2.
Ooh.
My feeling is I don't think Sub Rosa is a terrible episode, but I think because Star Trek The Next Generation have been running on such a high for so long, and that all the episodes were so great, that when one comes along that's not quite as great as the rest of the season, people automatically rank it really low. And that's not saying I love Sub Rosa. I don't. It's not a great episode, but is it a 4.9? I'd probably rank it more about a 6.
Scores don't go negative, so I would maybe give it a bit less. Purely on the basis that it's deeply offensive to me and my people. The people of Scotland will wage war against Sub Rosa one day.
One day.
Yes.
Stupid hills of Kilmarnock. I drive by Kilmarnock every day. I've never seen a hill.
Yeah, me too.
What is your take
Oh.
on Sub Rosa, Amy?
Okay, so yeah, I wanted to, if we could put that aside, sort of like with Code of Honor, if we can put the production part of it aside and just focus on the story of this ghost alien person who insists on focusing on one family over and over and over again. Like, I don't see any motivation for this guy. I don't even know what his purpose is, get his thrills. I don't know. It's not an interesting story. I like that we learn about Beverly a little bit more and her history, but the story, yeah, Sub Rosa is not even a good story.
I think they've tried to play it a bit like a kind of a creepy Halloween horror thing. It was a dark and stormy night, and there was a house beside the forest, and there were ghouls creeping about. But it comes off as a bit of a Mills and Boons kind of Jackie Collins romance novel. And I think people just fixate on that, and it just feels a bit ick.
I think maybe if you were going to compare it to a classic original series episode, you'd compare it to like Cat's Paw, where they're going for gothic horror, and it's because Star Trek as a part of this science fiction genre doesn't lend itself very well to gothic fantasy.
Interesting.
Maybe if this had been a holodeck fantasy, we could have bought into it more. But the fact that, oh no, we've got this planet that's the misty Scottish moors.
Sorry, I fell asleep. I would be desperate to move on from Sub Rosa.
Okay, what else is on the list then, Joe?
Talk about Masks. So Masks is the one where there's an asteroid, and did they phaser away a bit of the asteroid, or the asteroid is, or is a
They
comet
phasered
and
it
it's
away.
starting to is melting or something, and
No.
it exposes some ancient archaeological something or other
Probe.
It's a big building in space. Let's call it a probe. And there's something on board that infect, like a virus or something that infects the Enterprise, and Data gets infected by it as well, and the Enterprise starts getting transformed into some kind of Aztec monument kind of idea, and Data's possessed by spirits of something.
Everyone.
Yeah. Everyone in this ancient civilization, including their god Umamu or something. I can't remember. I think I made that up.
Masaka.
Masaka. That's a Greek dish made out of lamb, isn't it?
Eggplant, isn't it?
Yeah. What
You
do we think
guys are
about
so
Masks? Which, incidentally, was episode 17, and it scored 6.0, which was perhaps 6 points too many.
Oh, come on. I enjoy Mass. In
Do
fact,
you?
recently on All Good Things, we talked about it as one of our transformation series, since the ship actually transforms. I really enjoy Mass. I like the storytelling of it all, the mythology, it's just interesting. And Brent Spiner does a great job, portraying different characters. I just think it's really fun and everyone's involved.
I like. Did Lower Decks do a similar episode recently where the
At
ship
the
was getting
beginning,
transformed?
Freeman had put on a mask and was floating through, and
Yes.
the mariner's like, I told you to not stop playing with the masks or something like that.
Yeah, I knew it was familiar. I think maybe Brent Spiner's acting is the only thing that saves this episode.
Oh,
Because it is a bit of a standout. I've never really cared for it. Maybe it's one of those things I have to go back and rewatch, because it will have been a few years.
okay.
In a way, it has similarities to Sub Rosa in that there's alien possession, and I consider this Data's Sub Rosa.
Interesting way to look at it.
I find it maybe a bit problematic in that with the Enterprise being transformed so radically, then something at some point is going to go very catastrophically wrong, and lots of people are going to get sucked out a stone wall that collapses out into space, rather than the really advanced alloys that they have to keep them all safe.
Yeah, that is one part of the episode where it's like it's transforming only specific parts of the inside and not the whole, or, where we might be losing integrity of the ship. But nope,
Yeah.
it's only going to happen on the inside.
Third episode, third most lowest scoring episode with 6.3 points, or a rating of 6.3 on IMDb, is episode 3, and that is Interface. And if you recall, Interface is the one where they're experimenting with a new VR haptic feedback suit for Geordi, and Geordi's able to control this probe that's able to go where no one has gone before, and interact with dangerous environments. But Geordi's mum ship goes missing. She's a Starfleet captain. Her ship goes missing, and then let me remember it right. There's some aliens somewhere, and they read Geordi's mind, and they take the shape of Geordi's mum. So Geordi has to go and rescue her from some fire somewhere.
Yeah, and the one part that's weird about that is that he has to go down into like the atmosphere where the pressure is so great, and that's what's the dangerous part of it. And so it's these aliens that are living in this high pressure atmospheric. It's a big jump for me.
Yeah, it's like a bit like what was the psychodrama where Riker was in the play, but he was captured in Schisms. No, not Schisms. Frame of Mind.
Frame of Mind.
It's the same as Frame of Mind for me, in that I don't really understand what's going on at all.
I think really the only reason for this episode was to give Geordi a family and some background, because after 6.5 years, we knew next to nothing about Geordi and his background. But I think they could have found a better way to bring his family in. This episode is a little silly, and I also think that Geordi, as much as he loves his family and his mother, I think he's a more rational person than the character we see in this episode that does almost anything to save what might be his mom. So I think Geordi acts a little bit out of character in this episode, and that's why it ranks fairly low on my list as well.
Geordi always acts out of character, though.
True. Maybe Geordi doesn't have a
a
character.
And it's quite an extreme reaction, isn't it, that he has based on us just learning about his family. Like, from our perspective, he's never had a family before, which means that he doesn't really keep in contact with them. And so for his mum to die, like, should he really care that much? I'm not entirely sure. What?
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying, though. Yeah.
So that's Interface.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, fourth lowest rated episode is... Right, just for the record, people, yeah, I am giving you a synopsis based on their names. I'm not looking this up on Memory Alpha, and I'm 3 for 3 so far, so I'm doing quite good.
Yes, you are.
Dark Page is the one, which is episode 7, with a score of 6.4, and is the one where Loaxana's on board, isn't it? And she walled off the memories of her daughter that was drowned like years and years ago, but they're surfacing, and she's becoming really ill. And it's pretty much all about that, isn't it? How Deanna had a younger sister called Kestra, no?
She would have been an older sister, actually.
Older sister, that's right, yeah. I got a name, though. Like, I'm good, 4 for 4.
Well, it was in Picard.
You know how much Joe loves Picard.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
This is the first time that I'm going to very vehemently disagree with this list, because I think Dark Page is fantastic. I think it's a great showcase for Majel Barrett and Loaxana Troi. I think this is the ultimate Loaxana episode. We see her vulnerable. We see her angry. It's great fleshing out of Troi and her relationship with her mother. We've learned why Loaxana is so doting on Deanna, why she's so protective of her daughter. It's because she lost a daughter, and it makes Loaxana that much more of a tragic character. And we learn that she puts on this anti-MAME, over the top personality to hide the insecurities and the fear she has because she lost so much years and years ago. I think this is a brilliant episode, and I would rate it much higher than 6.4. I'd probably give it at least an 8.
Yeah, Kevin, and you make out some really good points. Like Majel Barrett, yes, we learn about Luoxana, and her performance is amazing. But I wanted to ask you, you said it was her tour de force. Would you put Dark Page over Half a Life?
Half a Life is where she goes from, it's that transition episode where she goes from being this just comic relief, larger than life person to being a fully fledged, I'm going to use the word human, even though she's not a human, she's a Betazoid, fully fleshed out human character. And I think that Dark Page takes that even farther. Yeah, I think because like she only knew Timothy for what, a couple of days, and I get that she was in an intense relationship with him, and I get that she didn't want him to die, but this is a very, like, her firstborn child was ripped away from her, and she's blamed herself for over 30 years. I think Dark Page is the ultimate Luoxana episode.
Wow, strong words, Joe.
I prefer Half-Life because of that transition. We see her go from like this annoyance in every episode we've seen her in to having a personality and having something to fight for and having some compassion and feelings and humanity about her. So yeah, Half-Life. But you know what? Dark Page is a really good episode as well. See, in terms of it being ranked relatively lowly, I don't think 6.4 is a bad score when it comes to IMDb. Like 6.4 out of 10 essentially isn't going to be eminently watchable. Or I've certainly find if I watch things with scores above 6, I generally enjoy them.
So you make, both of you, really good points, and I haven't really considered like which is better, Dark Page or Half a Life. But Kevin, you made such a strong argument. I think Dark Page, I'm going to put that above Half a Life, in part because we're learning more about the characters that we love, i.e. Deanna Troi, where Half a Life, the focus more is just on the Luoxana and Timothy, where Dark Page, we're getting, a story involving Troi, which is a main character. So I'd give it just that little bit of edge. Interesting. And yes, this is way too low. You're telling me that like episodes Genesis is better than Dark Page? People on IMDb, what are you rating? What are you watching? No, Dark Page needs to be much higher. Yes, I firmly disagree with this.
Okay, well, just for the record, I am right. Half-Life is better, given that it got a score of 7.3 on IMDb.
Right.
Well, I'm not saying Half-Life is a bad episode.
No, not at all. Okay, that's Dark Page. Next, we go to Force of Nature, which is episode 9, also with a score of 6.4. Force of Nature is the one where they discover that warp drive is damaging subspace. And at the very end of the episode, they discover, they get a communique from Starfleet saying that there's been a kind of galactic speed limit put in place of like, starships couldn't go any faster than, was it warp 5, I think they mentioned. And that's it. Well, there's a couple of alien scientists on board, brother and sister. Sister ends up essentially committing suicide at the end to prove the point that warp drive damages subspace and creates this huge subspace rift. Amy, I noticed you rolled your eyes a little bit.
I did. Again, Force of Nature, really. This is one that I always forget. It's not a memorable episode. I never remember it. And then it's like, oh, the stupid speed limit that didn't really mean anything to anyone ever again, except for this one episode. But I do have to give it credit for, taking a ecological, approach or, saving the environment idea into Star Trek. So I'll give it that, but it's definitely, it's one that I always forget.
Interesting. Kevin, where doth you stand?
I had to look this one up. I couldn't remember from the title what Force of Nature was. And I think the writers, and the production team wrote themselves into a corner with this episode. I get what they were going for. Yes, we want a nice ecological message. We want a conservation message here. But then they limited themselves by, oh, well, we can't go very fast. And this episode has no long-lasting effects. For something that sounded like it was going to be very, very important, they realized very quickly what they had done to themselves and sort of discarded the whole warp speed limit. So, yeah, I'm going to rank this one about where it is. It's not a great one because they just put themselves into a corner with it.
Okay, I'm completely different. I have always loved this episode.
What?
Really?
Like, I love this episode.
Wow.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. I think it's just a bit sciencey. It's got an interesting story. It's got a message of conservation and climate change and global warming and all that on a kind of a galactic scale. And then that bit at the end, a bit like Conspiracy, where you hear the little message, beep, 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 going out into the unknown. You get that speed limit, except it was Warp 5, I've just looked it up, except in cases of extreme emergency. But then, as I understand it, they quickly developed like a workaround for it. Like, so there's something about, like, now Voyager's warp nacelles move up and down. That was something to do with it. So it wasn't like it didn't have a canon impact in future incarnations. They did kind of write it into subsequent storylines. I'm sure the Enterprise E has some kind of built-in technology that gets around the damage to subspace.
Right. Do you like the part, and I'm trying to, put myself into your shoes, like why you like this episode. Do you like the part where the sister, like, she believes so passionately that is the cause that she's willing to sacrifice her for? Like, that's inspirational.
It's
When
like
there's-
Greenpeace campaigners go out in little rowing boats and dinghies to, I don't know, like, think of an example, like Japanese whaling ships. These giant ships that kill hundreds of whales, and they're rowing up in their little dinghy to try and stop them. So yeah, it's that you feel really passionate about something because it's arguably very important, isn't it?
Yeah.
For the Earth, for space, for whatever. So yeah, no, I do like that.
Sure.
Next one, also another one with a score of 6.4, episode 20, and that was Journey's End. And that is the last time in the show that we see Wesley. And the story goes that there is a colony, but it's in a disputed region between Cardassian and Federation space. And the Cardassians want to take over, and the Enterprise goes there to take away all the settlers, but they don't want to leave. And the settlers are all Native American descent, aren't they? And there's a whole idea that American settlers back in the day kind of killed hundreds of thousands of Native Americans, indigenous peoples of North America, and they feel like they're the same kind of things happening. They've been removed from their homes in favour of another group, in this case the Cardassians. And then Wesley gets really annoyed and stops time, and the Traveller appears, and then they leave and go and live happily ever after, I think. Is that about right?
That's about right.
Okay, good. What's my score? 6. 6 out of 6 so far. This is
Yeah.
good. What do you guys think?
It's fine. I have no problems with this episode, really. Sometimes I'm not sure about the depiction of Native Americans in this, but not being Native American, I can't really comment to that. I don't want to say things are bad if they're not. I just don't know how I feel. Like, I don't know why it felt necessary for that to be the case here. I don't really care for sullen, whiny Wesley. And I mean, I get that they've been heading towards this Traveler path a little bit, because the Traveler keeps telling Wesley how special he is. But even up to the very last time we saw him, Starfleet has always been his dream. And for him to give up on it so quickly seems a little, Again, I'm going to say out of character. Starfleet has been everything he wanted since we first saw him in Encounter at Farpoint. Even when he came back, like the last time we saw him, I think was the game. Would that have been the last time we saw him? Was the game?
Possibly.
First duty.
Was the
that
first
after
duty
the
after
game?
the game? I can't remember. Either way, even
first
after
duty
first
comes
duty,
after the game.
even in first duty, he was going to commit himself back to Starfleet after telling the truth. And I get that his life at Starfleet Academy is going to be tougher after what he did in first duty and after everybody at the Academy knows who he is. But we also know that he's like Wesley Crusher Wunderkind, and I don't know, to give up on it so quickly seems a little out of character. But other than that, I don't have any problems with the episode. It's fine.
Yeah, the game is season 5, episode 6, and First Duty is season 5, episode 19.
Okay, so we didn't see Wesley at all in season 6.
Yeah, and Journey's End is episode 20, so
Yeah.
pretty much
good
season 7 we
2
didn't
years,
see him
yeah.
either. So interesting. And I want to, now that we're sort of talking about these things of production and is it important to the story? So if we look at Sub Rosa, offensive to Joe, we look at Code of Honor, right? Offensive. And so here we have Journey's End with Native Americans, but I feel like that portion of using Native Americans was part of the story, was part of the intent.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you can say that specifically about Code of Honor or Sub Rosa. So I'm willing to accept Journey's End with that over stereotypical response because it's making a social commentary on what happened to the Native Americans, right?
Yeah. It's an American TV show, so it's easy to go for the Native American route. There's so many indigenous populations around the world that have been oppressed and moved on. Look at Indian Muslims in the creation of Pakistan back at the beginning of the 20th century. Look currently, Chinese Muslims, the Uyghurs, have been put in concentration camps. And what's happened to the, Pacific Islanders in Australia and the Aboriginal folk. Yeah, loads of examples. So, but I think it was easy because it's an American show. Go for the Native Americans. Okay, likewise, I don't really entirely care for this episode.
Mm-hmm.
Whiny Wesley spoils it. Is my honest take.
Yeah, it's not a great way for the character to go out.
Mm-hmm.
No.
You know, yeah, we had complained early that he was like the wonder kid who saved the ship all the time. But here he's like, I'm going to be mopey and pouty and give up on everything that I ever cared about. And I'm going to go live in the desert with these people I just met.
Okay, now hold on. You guys, I deal with teenagers every day, as do you, Joe.
Mm-hmm.
And when teenagers are coming up against this major life decision, right, which we have Wesley, who you've got the expectations of everyone that he knows, including himself, and to try and change them, how do you go about that? And have you in your time where you've gotten sullen and moody because you know something doesn't feel right, but do you have the courage to make the change? And there's a lot of ways that teenagers, that people in general can react to that type of situation. And I feel that Wesley could have been way more destructive with his relationships. He could have been way more destructive with himself. So being sully and moody, I'm going to give him a pass on that because this is a major life decision that he's making and trying to work out in his mind.
Yeah,
so I'm going to give it a pass, but yeah, Journey's End is not one of my go-to episodes. With all that said,
I wonder what age is Wesley? I'm just trying to figure out if we can forgive his whininess. So he was born 2348.
Wasn't he 14 in the first season? So he'd be 21.
So yeah, he's not getting a pass, I don't think.
I'm giving him a pass.
Even at 21?
In the privileged life that he's led. Okay. Next, we have Bloodlines. Bloodlines.
Mm.
I'm going to take a guess because I have no real idea. This is episode 22 of season 7 with a score of 6.6. Bloodlines is something about.
Klingons.
Is it the one where they bring back Kalis, the clone?
Yeah.
No.
Oh.
Is
No.
Bloodlines the Picard
No.
one where they clone his son?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes, I knew it was one of the two.
Mm.
But it's not his son.
No.
It's just a Ferengi something. What is Bloodlines about?
The USS Enterprise D encounters an unmanned probe, unarmed, which hails Captain Picard by name. The probe projects a holographic image onto the bridge of Bach, the Ferengi who tried to kill Picard 6 years ago. The Ferengi daemon still wants revenge for the murder of his son, so he tells the captain he will murder his own son, Jason Vigo, to settle the score.
It's all coming back.
But it's not Picard's son.
No.
And who is the kid? I forget where they found him. These are questions that we should know.
So Bach resequenced Jason's DNA to make it appear that Picard was his father, but the technique was flawed and it gave him a neurological disorder.
It's very nice. Is this the one where there's a machine on the Ferengi ship that's making Picard hallucinate? Or is that the other one?
That's the one in season 1. And this is sort of brings me to a point that I feel like with Journey's End and Bloodlines, like these 2 episodes right back to back are bad episodes on this list. But we have to go back 6 years and they're pulling these story threads that really have not been pulled on the entire time. And now we're supposed to care about this Ferengi Bach again? Come on. That was done, one and done. I don't know. It seems like when they go back and pull on a story thread, it's not as successful. They're doing it much better, like with Lower Decks, Picard, Discovery even, where they will, pull a thread from a long time ago. They just didn't do it well, in my opinion, here.
With the exception of Peanut Hamper.
Do not
Let's
get
not
me
talk
started.
about that.
You don't want to talk about Peanut Hamper?
Yeah, Bloodlines is like, I think we all agree, maybe we didn't really remember what it was about. Kevin, did you
I had to look it up. I assume with a title like Bloodlines, it was a Klingon episode.
Yes, that's why I thought the Kalis, bring back Kalis one. Yeah, it's a bit forgettable, really, I think.
Yeah, and poor Jason still doesn't know who his father is. His mother wouldn't tell him who the father was.
It's just a random Starfleet officer.
Yeah, so he's had a add-on for Starfleet ever since he was a kid.
Okay, that's Bloodlines.
That is
next
Bloodlines.
Next one is episode 2, which is Liaisons, with a slightly better score of 6.7. And Liaisons is about 2 people that meet each other, maybe? I've no clue.
No,
yeah.
Two people that I think you like.
Is it dangerous in any way?
Oh, I'm totally wrong.
No, you guys.
I was thinking it was Nella Darren, but no.
No.
That's Lessons.
Yeah. I don't know what Liaisons is.
Liaisons.
That's the one where they're doing like the exchange and the guy comes in and his job is to understand all the food and stuff. And the one guy is like trying to get Worf to show his Klingon, and the ones walking around with Troy and asking her all about chocolate and joyful things and pleasurable things.
And Picard crash lands on the planet.
And he's trying to understand love.
Yeah. So it's the 3 alien diplomats that come on board.
Yeah.
But we don't find out that until the end, right?
Yes.
Right.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's a fun little episode. I think that there's a bit of character stuff with Deanna being taken to her sweet limits and Worf being driven insane by this guy that's all about protocol and rules. And then there's a Picard bit, and I can't remember. Is it Picard the love thing?
Yeah, because he's stranded and she's like, why won't you love me? I read all your database and it's supposed to happen. The Florence Nightingale.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Trope.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, but I don't find this episode offensive in any way. It's
No.
It's quite
Unmemorable. Like I think the score is fine for what it is because
Mhm.
until I looked it up, I had no memory of this episode at all. So yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, it's
Unmemorable.
fine.
cool. It's fine. This is official, people. Okay, then we have also with a score of 6.7 is episode 18, and that is Eye of the Beholder.
I really
clue.
can't believe this is in the top or the lowest 10.
What is Eye of the Beholder again? Remind me.
This is the Troy Wharf one. And Troy sees in the engine room when it was built at Planitia, whatever
Is that the
that.
skeleton in the wall?
Yep.
It's like a
And
murder mystery.
yeah.
The telepathic skeleton that's in the wall still.
Yep. And
Still
that
telepathic
creepy
Mark?
guy, remember his
Yeah,
face?
it's
Yeah.
going to push her into the plasma stream.
Yep.
Yeah, but the kicker is there's telepathic bones in the wall.
Mm-hmm.
It's dead
Mm-hmm.
and it's telepathic. It's
Yeah.
stupid.
Oh, I like this episode.
Oh,
Well, I
that's
like
amazing.
it because of Troy, obviously. So
Yeah.
I will automatically bump it, 2 points higher than normal. But I really like the suspense of it, and we're sort of getting a lower deck perspective with this episode because we're, they're not really the people that we know. It's really a Worf, Troy are the main characters, and then everyone else is a lower decker.
I think the best bit of the episode is the new set piece they built for the, what is it? They open a door and they can see the warp plasma being funneled to the nacelles. And it's very dangerous because it's very hot and it's warp plasma. And you can commit suicide very easily.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it feels like a whole new set. And there's wee ladders up to the platform and there's control panels. But there's also telepathic bones in a wall.
I like it.
Yeah.
Again, I'm going to use the same word I used on the last one. Unmemorable. I had to look this one up too. It's a fine. I'm not going to turn it off if it comes on. It's just a fine. It's fine. Fine.
Weird how like all the lower scoring ones I knew kind of instantly by name and could give you an easy synopsis.
I bet it's the
Now
same way with the higher scoring ones too. It's these ones in the middle that are just sort of
Exactly.
run of the mill.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then the last of the lowest 10, episode 23, with a score of 6.7, is Emergence. Emergence is the one where the Enterprise has a baby and there's an old train on the holodeck.
Yeah.
Are we going to Vertiform City?
Yeah. And there's also a wee kind of Rubik's Cube glowy light thing in a cargo bay.
Yes.
That is alive, and that's the baby, and then it leaves the ship.
You know what? I need to remember this episode because this is one of my guilty pleasures. I know it is corny. It's terrible. They're on this train. Come on. And the Enterprise is trying to have this sentient baby. What's going on? But I just love it. It's so fun. It's a fish out of water type of episode with our characters. And so for that, I enjoy Emergence.
So is there something about the Enterprise computer being like reaching sentience in some way?
Well,
Like
it's
Zora?
a predecessor to Zora.
Yeah. And its first thing that it does is has a baby. Okay. Maybe there was a carbon monoxide leak in the writer's room that week. I don't know. Oh dearie me. Right, Emergence is fine. I kind of enjoy the sci-fi, like kind of far-fetched sci-fi aspect of it, with the Enterprise having a baby, although it's really weird. The train, the old kind of American steam train with a ticket collector, New Vertiform City. I don't get really. It doesn't. I don't know. That's the least enjoyable part of the episode for me. So, listeners, what do you guys think of the bottom 10 rated episodes? Let us know, please, in your feedback. Let's move on And let's just quickly randomly pick the remaining episodes, which in order of least to most favoured in IMDb are Firstborn, Homeward, Genesis, Attached, Inheritance, Phantasms, Descent Part 2, Gambit Part 1, Thine Own Self, Gambit Part 2, Preemptive Strike, The Pegasus, Lower Decks, Parallels, All Good Things Part 1, and All Good Things Part 2. So, Amy, pick an episode and tell us why you like it.
Well, I think that this right here is black and white proof that our Batleth battle, the one that I was not on, where All Good Things lost, is wrong. I'm still upset about that. All Good Things, Part 1, Part 2, best of the best. I cannot believe it lost. And there it is, IMDb rating right there. So I'm going to put that back in your guys' face.
You're allowed to pick one episode, though. So which part are you picking?
Okay, so what am I picking? The best?
Well, just you're picking one episode that you enjoy and why.
Oh, well,
you can't pick All Good Things Part 1 and 2 because that's 2 episodes.
But we cover it in one Batleth battle, so I'm picking it.
Well, this is my hosting gig, so you won't follow my rules.
Oh.
And I'm picking one that I really like.
But no, you can pick All Good Things, but Part 1 or Part 2.
Both.
This battle of wills is just like Q and Picard.
Do you know what? I'm editing this, so I'll just edit.
Okay.
Edit a win for me. Yeah, I'll just swap around all the words so it makes sense.
Yes.
Amy, I'm going to push you to choose one, or I will choose one for you.
Okay.
All Good Things Part.
All Good Things Part 2.
2. Okay, Amy, you've picked that one. Okay, that eliminates All Good Things Part 2 because Amy loves that purely on the basis that she's angry that it didn't win in a Batleth battle. Kevin, you can pick any of the other ones that are remaining, not the lowest 10 and not All Good Things Part 2.
Okay, and as an example of a great episode is what I'm doing here.
Yes, something that you enjoy. Yes,
something that I enjoy. Okay, well then I do love Parallels. I love the crazy science fiction of it. I love seeing all the variations of the universes. I love Worf and Troy being married in some universes. I love Crazy Riker and his bushy beard in the Borg universe. I just love Parallels, and I love that it's a Worf-centric story that doesn't deal with Klingon crap.
Yes. I also love Parallels. And you know what? It's reflected in the score. It was episode 11 on season 7, and it scored 8.9. Which, if anything scores 8.9, it's going to be super watchable, which is. Okay, so for my first pick, you guys are going to really disagree with me, but I really love episode 19 with a score of 7.2, and that is Genesis.
Oh,
I love it.
So I wanted to talk about how I think Genesis is rated too high on this
list.
Genesis.
Oh, no.
Over Dark Page, people.
Yeah.
It's creepy. Barclay becomes a spy. So Barclay's got something wrong with him. He's got a cold or something. And Dr. Crusher gives him a synthetic T cell. T cells are those things that control your immune system, but there's something in his genetic code that's affected, and yada yada yada. He devolves into a spider. It becomes this kind of virus that infects the other crew. Troy becomes a frog. Riker becomes some kind of Neanderthal man. Worf becomes some kind of proto-Klingon, like scary big monster beast. Is Picard like a pygmy marmoset or something? He's just terrified. He's something a tree-dwelling creature with giant eyes. Although I don't think we ever see him get to that stage. It's got scary moments in it with Worf being this big clawed animal that's going to rip everybody apart.
No, specifically Troy.
Yeah, because she's like smelling her pheromones and he wants to go and eat that frog. Yeah, I really enjoy it. It's just really far-fetched. It's not really sci-fi, is it? With the exception of all the biology, virus, T-cell things. Yeah, I like it. And you guys don't, by the looks on your faces.
It's too silly.
It's a okay guilty pleasure one.
You guys podcast about a show where they wore pajamas on a spaceship for 7 years. And it's too silly.
Yeah.
Please.
No, it's I enjoy Genesis. It's the one episode that Gates McFadden directed. Again, I think the makeup, well, it did. It won an Emmy for best makeup for a TV series. So there's definitely some good things about Genesis. And it's one that is memorable.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, Amy, you get to pick another one, which please don't make it All Good Things Part 1.
Okay.
But you can if you want, because that is left to be picked.
Okay, so another favorite?
Yeah.
Okay. Man, this is hard because it is so good, but I will go with, well, I will leave that because I know Kevin will pick it if we're going around again.
Oh.
I will go the Pegasus.
Oh, okay.
That one's very, very good. Plus the secondary story from Enterprise, their series finale. We get that tie-in. I just find it so interesting, the intrigue and the spy aspect, and I know what's right, and we need to do this, and Starfleet go to hell, and we need to catch up to the cloaking device, and so this is what we're going to do. And then it's all wrong, and then you have the loyalty issues between Riker and Picard, and Riker and his former captain Pressman.
Yes.
Yes.
Admiral Pressman, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I like the Pegasus. A good Riker episode.
And we get to see it again in the very last episode of Enterprise.
Right.
It's the episode that's happening when Riker looks at the holodeck of...
Yeah, that's what I said. We get it.
Yeah. Okay. I love all the Enterprise flying through the asteroid, and the Pegasus being stuck in the walls of the asteroid, and there's Romulan warbirds looking for them. But my favorite bit is the conflict that Riker feels. He's getting instructions from an admiral, his previous first captain, and Captain Picard, who is family essentially, and also his current commanding officer. So I don't know how I would go. I don't know. I think, do you have to follow the chain of command in that respect? Do you have to go with Admiral? Or do you, I don't know. It's impossible. But yeah, really good. Kevin?
Okay, I'm interested to know what Amy thinks I was going to pick, because I'm going to pick Attached.
That was exactly what I was going to pick, and I was like,
Really?
nope, Kevin's going to choose Attached. So
I
you're
love
welcome.
that episode.
I know you
love
do.
that it explores the Beverly Jean-Luc relationship. I love how sassy she gets because she can read his thoughts for a while. I think it's fun. Is it a great episode? No, it's another sort of run-of-the-mill episode, but because it gives us such great Crusher Picard moments, Attached is the one that I would choose.
I would say it is a great episode, Kevin.
Oh, I think I think it's great because of the relationship. I don't think it's great because of the plot. It's great character development for those two.
Wow, interesting. I think the story is itself interesting. I mean, you could have taken out two other characters and plugged it in, and I still would have enjoyed the story. But the character development, between Picard and Crusher, takes it over the top.
Because we've been waiting for that to happen for
exactly,
haven't we? And it does. I like that. Is it the Kess and the Prit on the planet Kesprit?
I think so.
Warring factions, and they're supposed to beam down and visit the Kess, but they actually beam down. They get stolen by the Prit, and then there's that whole. There's a bit of political intrigue. There's a bit of kind of Cold War between these two guys, and then there's the jeopardy of Picard and Beverly try to escape. plus the development of their relationship with their newfound telepathy. And then there's a little joke at the end, mind where Riker's walking them back from the transporter, and they're obviously telepathically communicating with each other, and then they start laughing, and Riker's like, what's going on?
Yeah. What did I miss?
Yeah. Okay, my turn.
Joe?
I was going to pick Attached, but I did have a backup, and that is, I think, Thine Own Self, with a score of 7.9. It was episode 16. Thine Own Self, I find hilarious, purely for the fact that there's the alien teacher, doctor woman who basically is describing her version of the periodic table of the elements: earth, fire, water. In Data is just gives her the side. Is this the one Data crash lands? Yeah, in his with the
His
radioactive. Yes,
breaks
and
down
his brain, his memory's all gone. Yes, and he basically, the radioactivity from the alloy that he's carrying infects a lot of the villagers, and they nearly die. And then they kill him and bury him in the well, and then the Enterprise turns up to find him and they save him.
Yeah.
So I love it purely for the earth, fire. What is it? Earth, fire, water, sky.
Air? Yeah.
Air, yeah. What do you guys think?
Yeah, it's a good episode. Great Data, fish out of water story. It's really good. I knew you'd pick that one too. The science.
We should give a special mention to Lord X.
Yes.
And the loss of Ceto Jaxa. Yeah.
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 A shout out.
Okay, that's me. Do you guys have any final thoughts?
Oh, this season 7 does get maligned sometimes from fans, and going over even the bad ones are really not that bad. But we are, of course, if it's on, we're not going to turn it off.
Right.
But there are some really, really strong episodes, and just as what we said, Dark Page definitely needs to not be in the bottom 10 at all. That one I completely disagree with, because I think there's some that should be in there, i.e. Genesis. Homeward, I think, is just sort of a boring episode, so I don't see why it's above Dark Page or these other Masks. But so overall, I really enjoy season 7. IMDb, there's just a few that I am disagreeing with. What about you, Kevin?
I agree. I think for the writers on this season, a lot of the thought behind a lot of episodes was we need to tie up some loose ends, or we need to flesh out some things that hadn't been fleshed out yet. There's a lot of stories here about families, about the family of our crew here, and a lot of episodes where we are saying goodbye to people. Like Wesley gets a send off, Ro gets a send off, and then the whole show gets a send off, right? With all good things. So I think the writers were trying to do a lot, and I think that's why this season gets maligned, because I'm not saying they bit off more than they could chew, because I think on the whole they nailed it, but I think there was a lot they were attempting to do rather than just tell some good stories. So for that, I do applaud season 7. Joe?
I was just looking at the season average IMDb scores. So throughout the first 6 years, it shows a consistent improvement. Season 1 had an average score of 6.8. Season 2 was 6.9. Season 3 was 7.6. Season 4 was also 7.6. Season 5 was 7.7. Season 6 was 7.8. And then season 7 was 7.4. So pretty much it's showing this upward trend in average IMDb scores, which you take with a pinch of salt. It doesn't necessarily mean anything. But does that tell you where they're running out of steam with some of the episodes? Were some of the episodes just not very good and the scores pulling down the average? Maybe like we've got Sub Rosa.
Interesting.
But yeah, do you know what? It's Star Trek Next Generation. It's why we're podcasting about it. So we're going to love all of it, aren't we? I find season 7 quite enjoyable.
I do too.
Incoming transmission.
We'd love to hear what you thought of today's episode and hope you'll join our Facebook group, the BQN Collective, to continue our discussion there. You can also tweet your thoughts at Galaxy Class Pod. We'd love for you to reach out. Or you can follow the network on Twitter and Instagram at BQN Podcasts.
Please hit the subscribe button on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts and leave us a star rating and written review. That helps others to find the show. So, Kevin, where can people find you when you are traipsing around with a mask on just for fun?
I'll be
Because I know you do it all the time.
I'll be trick-or-treating.
Yes.
Yeah. So, but if I'm not trick-or-treating, you can find me in the BQN Collective. I post there quite often. You can find me on True North Nerds, a general nerd and geekery podcast that I do with some local friends. We talk a lot about the other Star franchise, Star Wars, and Marvel, because that seems to be on all the time these days. Joe, where can people find you when you are physically and psychically linked to Ewan?
When I'm not cyclically linked to Ewan, which was weird this week because Ewan was in Spain for the week with some work friends just on holiday, so I was home alone, and it was very unnerving. I did not like it at all. When I'm not doing any of that, I've maybe been offended by Kevin saying the other Star franchise is Star Wars, when in reality it's Stargate. There you go.
There's no new Stargate on right now, though, Joe.
Well, true. Yeah, so you can find me on our BQN Facebook group, which is the BQN Collective. You can tweet me on the Twitter at JoeyJoe77UK, and you can email me joepodcasts@gmail.com. And Amy, where can people find you when you're, I don't know, somebody's leaving a ghost lamp outside your house so you can have happy time with your ghost?
I guess that would be at Halloween.
Really?
Trick-or-treating there, carrying around my ghost candle.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you can find me here on the network where I'm co-hosting All Good Things. I am also co-hosting Union Federation, which is here on the network. You can find me in the Facebook group BQN Collective, and I am on Twitter at Miss Amy Nelson.
Priority 1 message from Starfleet coming in on secured channel.
If you'd like to help us keep all our shows coming to you each week, you can become a patron of the network on Patreon. We're putting out more exclusive content for our patrons that you won't want to miss, like It's Green or Amy's Math Moments. Please check out all the details at patreon.com/BQN.
A huge shout out to our very own associate producers, Jim McMahon. You might have heard of him, Trivia with Jim, which listeners, we are going to have another Trivia with Jim next week. So stay tuned for that. And our other wonderful associate producer and great supporter of the network, Davey Willett. We are so grateful for your support. And a special thanks to Mark White for our artwork.
Amy, did we give listeners a special preview about what we've been invited to in terms of Davey Willett?
Well, we should give them a little preview.
So when is it? Sometime in November. Amy and I have been invited on what's it, Trexperts?
Yep.
Is that what it is? Davey
Trexperts quiz.
Yeah, new quiz show podcast. And I don't even know why Amy's turning up, because she's going to get crushed by the competition that is me.
I am very nervous, Joe. I'm not going to lie. And I'm not good at trash talk because I'm not confident in my trivia skills. So,
oh, now you're trying to make me feel bad.
But I when he told me that it was going to be with Joe, I was like, oh, could it have been anyone else? You scare me.
No, I lose. I like in the heat of the moment, you just forget all your Trek knowledge, don't you?
It is, yes. Okay, so if we think about with Trivia with Jim, you have won for sure, Joe. I know. Yes. Kevin, you have won.
Yes, I have.
Twice?
I'm not sure.
I think I've only won once. So I think we all have won once.
Yeah.
This one might be a tiebreaker, you guys. Maybe
Bum,
Rhea
bum,
will win.
bum.
And then we will all have won. Oh my gosh.
Are you saying we should throw it to Rhea next week?
No.
Oh, no, we are not throwing nothing. If I can win, gosh darn it, I'm going to win.
Thank you for beaming aboard Galaxy Class, and until next time.
I did fall asleep reading a particularly erotic chapter in my grandmother's journal.
Great joy and gratitude.
So, 5-card stud, nothing wild, and the sky's the limit.
Engage.